Oh, I don't care. You give
Uh,
up what secrets you are happy with. Yeah.
I have a
well,
really good bury bodying place. I wouldn't want anyone
Mm.
else dumping their bodies there. So
Right,
that
right.
one.
I just got a great how-to manual. One moment, please. We'll unbox. Oh, by the way, we're live. Hi, everyone.
On-
Welcome to
on
our
that note-
Krampusnacht
Krampus.
edition of Mystic
Welcome.
Moon.
Welcome to Mystic Moon
Mhm.
Cafe, everyone.
Yes. Cheers, everyone,
So-
to Krampusnacht. I'm
Cheers.
enjoying the bitter
Yes.
tears
Salute.
of Krampus killed
Sorry,
children right now.
I'm just water tonight. And a
That's
floating
what
head.
she says.
Woo.
It's vodka. Don't let her lie to you.
Yeah, really, actually.
Let me get my unboxing. I'll be right back. Enjoy Krampus.
So, how is everybody tonight?
Well, we're here.
We're here. I was gonna say we're here.
Mhm,
Still alive.
Ooh, Amazon.
Yeah, fresh Amazon.
Amazon?
Amazon. Yeah, it must be
Huh?
vodka in there.
What's
Must
the
be.
German version of Amazon? What do we call
Amazon.
it? Amazon?
I don't know.
I think that might be a little more Russian.
That could be.
We're
Look at
talking
that
again.
delicious Funko Pop Krampus.
I have a little Krampus, but he's not red. He's in my bedroom, so I'm not gonna run and grab him. But I mean, I can.
Oh, thank God, it's not the porn. Okay.
I appreciate that was a real concern of yours.
Yes, I was gonna say. Oh, maybe I should wear him.
I've been
put
married
him
a
in my
long
shirt.
time.
Nestle him in your bosom, June. Nestle.
There we go.
His eyes were already popping out. What are...
Oh my gosh. So, for
Yeah,
people
here
just
we
tuning
are.
in,
Yeah, hi, folks.
we have, we're still, what would you say, day 639 on lockdown.
That's what it feels like at this point.
Here. Mhm.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm going to keep disappearing. I think my head is, okay, it's better now. Oh, there we go.
It's kind of
Um,
hellfiery, which is pretty
Mhm.
cool.
It's her
Yeah.
mutant power. It is her mutant power. It's
Ooh.
It is. I
June
tried.
Satana Nixon.
I like it.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah, I finally put my
Pesca?
Christmas tree together the other night. I would swing it around to show you, but no, that's okay. But I'm very, very proud of myself because, I really wasn't going to do it because we just moved into a new place and I was like, I was trying to get everything in order and now I've got everything in chaos again, but I'm really glad I did it. Kind of makes me feel a little teeny bit festive since I've been feeling a little down lately. So it's like, oh, little blue lights,
We should drink to that.
crystals.
You had me at drinking.
Yes. Is it a game?
Pretty much.
I'm gonna need another bottle.
Anytime anybody says the word Krampus, we have to take a
Salud.
drink.
Oh my! There'll be a whole lot of fit chasing here in a little bit.
This is a show about Krampus. It may be.
We may
but,
be summoning him.
We might be.
We may be.
We should summon something sometime.
Mhm.
That would be a really good show.
Mhm.
Summon
We should try to summon. Like the movie Host. Have you guys all seen it?
Mm.
Yes. It's
Fine.
funny. It's funny that you mention host because I'm working on a new horror podcast with a couple friends, and we keep referencing that as some of our inspiration for one of the episodes we're doing. And if you've not seen it, it's on Shudder. It's quite good.
Okay.
I think it was the first horror film produced during COVID, acknowledging COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I would
and it's
think so.
short too. It's what, like an hour long, just over an hour.
Is it
long?
only an hour? Oh.
Yeah, it goes quick.
Yeah, it really does go quick. I really enjoyed it. The whole premise of it, I'm not going to give anything away, but the whole premise of it is some friends getting together and basically kind of, what would you say, doing some sort of Ouija,
They have
not
a-
Ouija
yeah,
board session, but
a medium. They have a medium on their
That's
Zoom
right.
call with them.
yes.
I have seen this. I have seen this movie. It's British, right?
No.
Oh, there's a British one. That's
There might
like
be
that.
I think there's a British woman in it.
Oh
Okay.
yes. Oh
yeah, I
I
think
can't
one of
remember.
the characters
But,
is British. But no,
but
it's
things do not go well. Let's just say.
Never make fun of the demons. Make out
Mhm.
with the demons. That's all I'm
Yes.
saying.
I don't know. I've seen Night of the Demons, and I don't want Linnea Quigley's possessed head shoving her Krampus tongue down my throat. Kim, why don't you show everyone that Krampus tongue behind you?
It's a little low.
It's a little low, but that's some serious tongue. I don't need that shit down my throat.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Well,
That's legit.
Just saying.
sad for you then.
But when you get in the wrong angle, your microphone looks like
Oh Lord.
See it now, Jake.
Hey, dirty.
This is
Hi,
gonna
we've
be a
met,
dirty
right?
show.
For tonight's show, we're going to rate it PG-13 at a minimum.
It's G. It's G.
Totally.
Is it
Right.
G?
It's
Yeah,
also
right. String. Mhm.
It's like an episode of Bugs Bunny. It's, the jokes go over the kiddos' heads, but the
True.
adults are
Mhm,
like,
mhm.
ah.
Mhm.
Exactly.
I don't know kids these days.
Yeah, they know more than me now, so it's kind of
Uh-huh.
sad. Oh my gosh. Okay, I need to share this.
Oh, Mikey's letting his presence be known.
Hey, Mikey.
That's my. It's the ball. One moment. This is my unboxing. This is my how-to book.
I want to borrow it. I want
It's got all these case studies and stories about footprint
Oh, interesting.
retrieval and
Oh, I'm jealous. and I-
blood spatter.
You're talking my
Kim
language. Keep
is-
talking. Keep talking.
Oh,
It's like dirty talk. I love it.
Internal examination.
Oh,
Page 185.
You're gonna get her all hot and bothered, and then what are we
Under-
gonna do with her then?
Are you ready for the name of this chapter? You're gonna love it. You might
bring it.
cry.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
Working the scene of the
Ugh.
body human.
Oh, yeah.
Internal examination.
This is so wrong.
With the torso laid open, organs are removed one at a time, starting at the top and working down the body.
Oh my gosh.
Rib cutters and spreaders open the chest itself to
Tell
examination.
me more about the spreaders. Tell me more about the chest spreading. Oh,
If blood hasn't been obtained from the victim at this point, heart blood will be drawn now. It's a romance.
It's a romance. A romance that's gone a little wrong.
Mm. You can book me for voiceover. Let's go.
for the audiobook version of that.
Yes.
Jake, for the audience, would you read the title of the book again?
Oh. Bitter tears. One moment.
Those bitter children's tears taste so good.
The Forensic Case Book, The Science of Crime Scene Investigation by N.E. Genge.
Ooh.
Very fascinating. It really is fascinating, actually.
This
I'm
is
gonna-
not an endorsement of the product, but hey, if you want to endorse the show, we'll go for it. We'll put some body examination in every single episode.
Ooh. You know how to hit all my buttons, Jake. Can you believe I'm single?
No.
Mm.
So, for those of you who don't know Kim,
Welcome.
Kim, why don't you actually tell a little something about yourself and some of your hobbies and some of the things that you do, and also, some of just a little bit about you.
A little bit about. Well, I think
I'm
everybody.
losing
knows I
Krampus down my
still,
bosom. Sorry.
It happens. It happens to the best of us. My name is Kim. Hello, everyone. I'm a tour guide with Spooked in Seattle, and I'm a member of a Ghost. I'm a paranormal investigator, which is how I first met June and Ross, who I know has been on the show many times. I have a podcast with Gabby, we came on here together at some point, didn't we?
You sure
I
did.
thought so. I've been on here before. I lose track of when I've come on. So Gabby and I have a podcast called Ghoulish Tendencies, which is available wherever you listen to podcasts. And we cover ghost stories and paranormal and legends and lore and murder and true
It's
crime.
really cool. Yeah, if you haven't checked it out, please check it out.
We just released a new episode on Tuesday on the Bender family. which,
Ooh.
if you are unfamiliar with the Bender family, which a lot of people are, they were a family of serial killers in Kansas in the 1870s, and they are really interesting, and nobody ever talks about them. But they found 11 bodies buried on the property, and they think they killed over 20 people. So new
Wow.
episode that just got dropped, so you can check that out. But yeah,
Cool.
a lover of all things morbid and macabre. And Krampus.
What about your next tea in true crime?
Next tea and true crime. Actually, I need to talk to Mark a little about this, if whether or not we're going to try to do one in December, because normally we do them the third Sunday, where we cover a new case each month. We just did one on Juana Barraza, who was a female serial killer, Mexican wrestler. Female
That was
serial
really
killer.
fascinating. That was a really good one. It was very fascinating.
Well, it's another case. I love the cases people don't talk about but should know. And she was called Little Old Lady Killer. She's accused of killing over 40 old women, although she probably didn't kill all of them. But it's a really, really interesting case that, again, nobody talks about. But for December, because of the holiday, the third Sunday of the month is pretty deep into December. And so I'm not sure how realistic it will be to do one for the third December. So we may end up having to do it. Actually, maybe we could do the 4th December. Mark and I need to talk. We need to discuss. But I was looking at a couple of the different torso killers, because I haven't covered a torso killer yet. And
Yeah, that was very interesting. That's one thing at least we got from that show that they talked about.
Oh, Holes or Files? Yeah, that was a
Yes.
good one.
Torso
Good.
killer.
torso kill. Well, because there's been, there's a multiple torso killers. And
That's so sad. How many torso killers are out there?
well, it's like Ripper
Oh.
killers. It's a mode of killing. It's a way of killing. But there's some really interesting ones. And again, I get drawn to the ones people don't talk on as much.
Right.
And so yeah, and I still want to cover Jeremy Bamber too. Yeah, Jake, I know you know about him, but he was accused of murdering his whole family for money in the 80s in the UK. And the case in the UK is notorious. It's gets compared a lot to the Amityville crime here, the murders here, the DeFeo family murders. But he is serving, he was convicted in the 80s. I think the crime took place in 85, but I would need to double check that. And he's serving a actual life sentence, which in the UK is unheard of. Nobody serves.
Wow.
Like there's like 2 dozen people who actually serve life sentences in the UK.
You're kidding. Huh.
But there's a lot of debate as to whether or not he is actually guilty. And so that's one that's been on my list for a while to bust out. I've talked about him before at Crypticon, and I would like to bust him out for a tea and true crime because it's fascinating.
Wow.
And I apologize for the sentence.
That's okay. I didn't know if it was on my end or not.
It's mine. It's the joy of living in Pill Hill.
Yeah.
Woo.
I used to live in that very building that Kim lives in, and yes, I can
right.
vouch for the ambulances
Twice.
Yes.
We've lived in the same building
It's very
twice, but
bizarre.
never at the same time.
Yeah. Very bizarre.
Hmm.
It's like she's following me. I don't know what's going on.
Ooh, don't worry, I won't move to Bellevue.
Yeah. I never thought I would. But this is actually really nice here. I'm really enjoying it. Well, although I haven't gone anywhere, so I just look out my window and I have a little bird feeder on the window so I can watch the bird feeder. And today there was a cat that came to visit me, so I spent my day
Oh.
Aw, little kitty
working and feeding cat treats to a little strange kitty. I know I have cat treats too, and I don't have a cat. It's
totally
kind of
normal.
sad.
You're already working on being a crazy cat lady, and
Yes.
I find that amazing.
And it'd be really crazy when I just have the neighborhood cats come in, come in. Just kidding.
But Tilly will always take a cat treat when you stay
Aw.
with her. She does enjoy the kitty treats.
So sweet. My needs a kitty fix. But other than that, I just feel like, I don't know. These days are going by really fast, but really, I don't know. I can't even describe it.
They're very heavy.
Yeah, especially I have not actually been anywhere. I've had groceries delivered. I feel
wow.
like, I'm starting to get agoraphobia,
Mm-hmm.
which kind of freaks me out because, that's what my grandmother had for a while. My dad's mom.
Mm-hmm.
She also had 200 parakeets and cats that she let roam around free. So,
Okay, well,
I'm
if you
probably
get to that point,
would somebody
we're
have an
gonna have an intervention.
Yes.
Please.
Yes, we are.
But we're gonna film it.
Yes,
because
please
this is good
do.
stuff.
Yes.
Naturally.
This is gonna be good
Naturally.
stuff.
Holy crap.
And Augie will be there to help you.
Aw, I needed that. And Daisy. And Tilly.
And
And
to, yes,
Mikey.
the whole gang will be
Yes.
there.
Yes, yes.
Oh my. I just can't wait till at least the numbers start dying down with COVID.
Yeah.
That's all I can
Mhm.
say. Because, I'm thinking it's got to be at its peak. And it's not at its peak. It's still rising. So that's what really sucks. And it sucks even more is you people out there that still think it's a hoax. It's really pissing me off.
Mhm. I will say my BFF had it back in Chicago,
No.
and she was sick for 3 weeks. 1 week coming down with it. 1 week she said she didn't really have the fever that you hear about. Her boyfriend did, however. But for her, she said it was like she had 2 cinder blocks on her chest.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it broke, it cleared up quickly. It cleared up
Hmm.
quickly. It was gone in a few days after that. But she said she was sick for a good 3 weeks.
Mm.
And the last week was just the fatigue. And it's like, well, that's what happens when you're not getting proper oxygen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No air
When
supply
you
in the
can't
lungs
breathe.
and stuff. Yeah. But then when it broke, it didn't take long for her to recover from it at all.
Well, that's
Hmm.
good. I mean, you read some of the articles about nurses saying, they have patients in the hospital who are hospitalized and in some cases dying of COVID, but they're to their dying breath, they're saying, "What is this? What have you done to me? That's a hoax. It can't be COVID." And man, that makes me sad and a little scared for
Yeah.
what's going on in our country. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No wonder they're still not letting letting Americans in any countries right
I
now.
wouldn't. I mean, well, and also because we just, I got a news alert when I was in my class earlier that the highest number of new daily COVID deaths since the pandemic began were reported today. So
Wow.
buckle up, kids.
Yep.
So that's why I said I'm not leaving.
No.
Of course, I do have to run into work a little bit tomorrow, but it's really early in the morning. So, I won't run into any actual people
That's good.
when I get there at 6.
Yep.
Aida in
6.
the chat is asking if what do you know about Jack the Ripper? So I'm guessing him.
Do you know who it is, Kim?
Jack the Ripper. Oh man, that's a little obscure for me. But are we just speaking generally? Are we talking about theories? I mean, there's a lot to unpack with Jack the Ripper. There's a lot of different theories about Jack the Ripper. I talked about this in my H.H. Holmes Tea and True Crime. There was I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it, a ridiculous theory that H.H. Holmes faked his death and moved to London and became Jack the Ripper.
Ooh.
Which he didn't. But there was a whole I don't know, there's a whole TV thing on it that was completely dumb. But 5 victims that we know of. There's debate as to whether or not a few other murders could be attributed to him. There's a lot of different theories. He killed primarily sex workers, and I mean, ripped them apart. Hence the name. Ripper killers are a specific kind of serial killer, and called thus because of how they kill. But it's a great early example of serial killers who target marginalized people because nobody cares.
Nobody cares, right? Who's gonna, that's what they think. Who's gonna miss this person?
Who's gonna miss this person? I mean,
Yeah.
and it's something that it still happens. You see it with Green River Killer did
I was
it.
gonna say Green River
Yeah.
Killer.
Dahmer targeted people,
Yep.
mostly immigrants and gay men who again, nobody took seriously. Even looking like the Atlanta child murders. I mean, it was children of color, and so but we've talked about covering Jack the Ripper for either the podcast or Tea and True Crime. I feel a little bit about Jack the Ripper the way I do about covering Ted Bundy, which I did do it. No, did I do a Tea and True Crime on Ted Bundy? No, I talked about him in a class I taught.
Yeah.
And I talk about him on my murder tour, but I feel like there's certain cases where there's not a whole lot more to be said that isn't already being said on it. And so Jack the Ripper is a really big case to unpack because 130 years later, you have so many different theories and so many people who are so certain that they know the identity or that their theory is correct. So you read all of these books, you watch the TV specials, and it's one of the things about doing this kind of work where you're talking about these stories. You can shape a narrative to be whatever you want. If I'm the one telling the story, I can tell my story in a way that puts my agenda, puts my belief into the story, and I can shape facts and be selective about how I tell facts.
Right.
So I will say if I ever did Jack the Ripper, it would be to try to be as unbiased as possible, but I don't know how possible that is 130 years later to do. That was a little Jack the Ripper tangent. You're welcome, everybody.
But if you want to learn more, the 3rd season of Unobscured, and this is a podcast series made by Aaron Mankey, who does the Lore podcast.
He does
it
Lore.
is on Jack the Ripper.
I'll have to check that out.
All 10 episodes of it.
I'd be curious his take on Jack the Ripper. Because he tends to be pretty thorough in his research.
Mm-hmm.
Well, fascinating.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Kim,
Yes.
why don't you tell us a few things about Krampus?
Krampus?
That you know of.
That I know of. Well, I know that he is commonly paired as being, in fact, I think the Krampus movie even says this, like the shadow of Saint Nicholas, or a companion to Saint Nicholas, where Santa Claus or Saint Nicholas focuses on the good little boys and girls. Krampus punishes the naughty. It pops up in lore across a lot of countries. I mean, I'd mentioned before we were talking about Croatia, because my dad's side of the family's Croatian, but Germany, Austria, Hungary, parts of Italy. But he actually came out of pagan lore. Like a lot of our winter traditions. Later on, he gets paired with Saint Nicholas, but there was a pagan ritual from like 1,000 years ago that involved dressing up in spooky costumes and running through the streets to dispel the spirits of winter. And so that's actually one of the places we look to as origin. We also look at there is a German word meaning Krampen, which is claw in German. And according to that section of the story, he was the son of the Norse god of the underworld, Hel.
Wait a second. This is part of the quiz I was going to give later.
Oh, sorry. Am I giving my spoilers? Sorry. Spoilers.
Warm up question.
Yes, Jake.
Don't tell me
Jake?
how much I should start spewing out here. I can go on. I
No,
gotta
no,
stop.
no.
All right. For our next segment, we'll go on to the quiz.
Yes, maybe we can do the quiz
Yes.
and see, because I was going to say, I think that this would be, and anybody in our chat that is listening, see if you can answer some of these questions too.
Ooh.
Sure.
And we will see. I won't, let's see, I'll try to not get all of these here. So one of the questions was that, this person has a friend that's ready to sell about Krampusnacht. See, my German is really bad.
Gesundheit.
And yes, and where does he probably live?
Are we asking people in the chat?
Yes, we can ask people in the chat that if someone is going to celebrate Krampusnacht, where does he probably live?
I have to say, I do appreciate Krampusnacht more than I appreciate SantaCon. I hate SantaCon with a raging,
Oh my God.
raging passion.
Oh. If people do not know what SantaCon is,
You're lucky.
ask Kim about about her tours on yes.
The joy I felt when I saw SantaCon had been canceled this year. There was dancing in my apartment. Dancing.
Because when Kim was doing her tours and SantaCon was going on, let's just say it was not a fun event.
No.
For dozens of
hundreds
of drunk Santa women and Santa men.
If you've never been harassed by a drunken Santa before, you should come over to my house on Christmas Eve. No, SantaCon is this big, and I believe it was meant to be I think it's supposed to be for charity, but it's
what kind of charity was that?
It's a giant pub crawl where you dress up like Santa or you wear like assless Santa chaps and go to pub. Oh yeah, no, I've seen my fair share of butts in Pioneer Square outside of SantaCon as well. But
yeah,
that's just Pioneer Square. You're gonna see butts.
Oh,
Go to
other
Pioneer
stories.
Square. That should be their slogan. Pioneer Square. You will see butts
and whatever else
maybe
they want to
something
show.
else.
Oh.
Anyway, that gives people enough time to answer the question. Did anyone answer? I can riff. I can keep going.
Well, I'm gonna go with Nadine and Chandler, Bavaria, or Austria, one of the two.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. While some think that Krampus is associated, can't talk. While
keep drinking that water.
Yes, I was going to say that water I'm drinking. La. While some think that Krampus is associated with the Christian devil, there are others who believe he's related to Viking mythology. If this is the case, who was his mother, the goddess of the dead, who presided over a realm that had the same name? This might be something that Kim just said not too long ago.
Or if you've seen Thor Ragnarok.
Is it Loki's
But-
daughter?
Honestly, though, I mean, we'll just give you this one because it is Hela. But in Thor Ragnarok, she was presented as Thor's sister.
Mm-hmm.
When, I guess in actuality, it was Loki's daughter who was the goddess of hell.
You mean the Thor movies are not entirely accurate?
I don't want to crush you about that, Kim. I'm sorry.
You should read the comic books.
They're close enough.
See, it's in the family.
It's kind of
Okay.
incestuous.
So,
Bloomington, Indiana. Sorry.
and so we have established the fact that the Krampus is fearsome. But what animal does he most closely resemble?
Ooh. Or I suppose he's kind of half and half.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that ties into, once you answer it does tie into some ancient Greek stuff.
Yes, very much so.
Mm.
Well, we'll just say a goat We'll
Yes.
just say that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Although the Krampus is pictured in a variety of ways, most show him as a very tall, black or brown, hairy creature with the horns and beard of a goat. This may be closely related to the fact that Satan, do you see Satan, is
Good old
associated
Satan.
with goats in the Bible and pictured with goat horns and a beard. His appearance reminiscent of creatures like fauns and satyrs from Greek mythology, especially the Greek god of nature, Pan, is very frightening.
Yeah.
Was he really portrayed as frightening though? Pan,
Pan?
was
No.
was he more of a
Mhm.
drunken?
Portrayed as drunk.
Yeah. Now, if
Yeah.
that
Usually
isn't enough,
drunk.
I mean, we saw that season of True Blood, right?
that's true. That's true.
I want to go to Pan's parties. I bet they're amazing raves.
Oh man, yeah. Looked
Ooh.
great. Looked great.
Now it says if that isn't enough, the Krampus also has a very long, pointy tongue and fangs. He is
Oh,
pictured
tongue.
with two tongue and fangs. Yes, he is pictured with 2 legs with 1 cloven hoof in most pictures, and one that is quite hairy with claws like his hands. I never noticed that.
Yeah, mm-mm.
I didn't notice that at all. Okay, so okay, we've already answered that. That's not a good one. The Krampus also carries bundles of branches called the Ruten that come from which of the and come from which tree? What kind of branches does Krampus carry?
Oh, this is
Beat,
Hmm.
bad children.
and actually I think I'm pretty sure I know this, but give the people in the chat a chance.
Yes.
It's
have
kind
my
of trippy
ideas.
because I wanted to see the chat because I can't see the comments once they've gone
Yeah, I
by.
can't either. It's like-
And it's a little bit delayed in the live feed.
Mhm.
So it's
Right.
trippy to watch like myself over here and then me make the hand gesture
Mhm.
like 5 seconds later on the other side. So
Mhm.
Yes.
Right.
That's so
I
we
for a
can
second-
bleep you.
Have you been?
Not really.
Keep that button handy. Well, I was worried I'd had too much whiskey and that I was like, "Ooh."
Speaking of that, I'm gonna go check out. I have to go beat a child to get more bitter tears in this
It
wine
happens.
glass. One
Okay.
second. I'll be right back.
Nadine says willow. Now I thought it was
Excuse me. Sorry.
the birch tree.
For some
Well,
reason I did too,
that's-
but
That's what it says.
mhm.
But you know,
I suppose in a pinch he's not going to be particular about,
it says the birch tree, but
you need a tree. If you need a tree branch to eat the child with, just whatever one's handy.
That's what they say. That's what they say.
yeah, the whipping
So-
effect is much more painful than the beating effect, right?
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
So, what tradition is a must for anyone who wants to dress as Krampus in Krampusnacht? What is the main tradition?
The main,
Which I did not know.
huh?
I don't know if anybody will guess this, so I think I'll just tell.
Yeah, this
Coal? Is
But-
it having the lump of coal?
running through the
I'm wrong?
streets.
No.
Hmm.
I will just tell you it
Yeah.
is making a wooden mask. That is the
Oh.
whole thing, is them wearing a wooden mask.
I didn't
I'm
know
sure
that.
it's veered away from that tradition because now I think people just go hog wild. I actually had have a really good one, but it is buried under a whole bunch of stuff in the storage back there, so I couldn't get to it. So I was hoping to wear it and just
Aw.
pretend to be Krampus, but no, it didn't happen.
They need a filter for that. Where's our Zoom? Where's our Krampus filter?
I don't know. That would have been awesome though. But yes, it's a wooden mask. You'll have to look it up.
Oh, that one
it
I
was
didn't
really
know.
fascinating. They also have directions how to make your own wooden mask.
Get right on
So
that.
practical.
Yes, exactly.
I like it.
I'm worried about splinters. And
Yes, I think
zips.
you have to sand it down to where it's nice and
Sand it.
comfortable.
We'll put a
Sand.
nice little lacquer on it. A lacquer.
And so, Wendy
Yes,
and
Jan.
everyone else, or anybody else that would like to guess, and I'm sure a lot of people do know this, but what date is Krampusnacht celebrated? It precedes the feast of Saint Nicholas.
That would be December 5th.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
December 6th is the feast of Saint Nicholas. And supposed to see, I used to have this
And
record.
what else is it, June?
Oh, it's my birthday.
Oh,
December 6th.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yes.
Helifisdagen. Helifisdagen.
The
Yeah. I used to have this record when I was little because my brother now he had all these records of like songs that were done to his name because his name was Doug. So they had this cute little records of kids' names, and songs. But my mom could never find a record that sung about June. So instead she got me this record about songs about December 6th, which was Santa Claus's birthday. So, it was like these songs like December 6th is Santa Claus's birthday, Santa Claus's birthday, Santa Claus's birthday. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. I share a birthday with Santa. Nobody else is that amazing. So
I just think of June, the song June is busting out all over.
yes. Yes. That's
Which-
a great song for me.
That's a June-ish song.
Yes. So true. Oh my God. How many times have I heard that one?
But that wasn't the first time. What? Oop.
No, I'm sorry. Not having a first time with me, Kim. Sorry. Let's see.
The dream is dead.
Yes, it is. So now tell me this. What does the Krampus typically leave for children who have been bad? Now, these aren't the children that are horrors. These are horrors, not horrors. We will get that right.
I know you're from the near Ozarkian part.
No. I was not near the Ozarks. Kansas City is not that close. 4 hours. Isn't it 4 hours? Or yeah, it's a 4-hour drive.
2, 4, whatever.
Depends how fast you drive.
No, tell yourself whatever you need to tell yourself.
But no, what does the Krampus typically leave for children who have been just mediocre bad?
So not the ones that he's taking down to the underworld.
No, not the ones that he's taking down to the underworld to keep for
Bruises.
himself for all eternity.
Or the ones he's beating with birch sticks.
Yes.
Exactly. Bruce.
I will say, if you've been paying attention, June's Krampus has been heading towards the nether regions.
Oh,
I'm just
there we
saying.
go.
Since we're talking about bad children being dragged.
Just keep my Krampus close to my heart.
Is that where your heart is?
Yeah,
In your cleavage?
it is.
A little to the left.
Just leave it right there. Yes.
Oh, doesn't he take your presents
Oh, he might.
if you've been bad and he leaves it was a stick, a silver stick or something.
Precedes diamonds.
Oh, that'd be nice. Diamonds. Hey.
Hey,
I'll be really bad for
I mean, there's-
diamonds.
Unless it's coal, but I thought that was Santa.
yeah, that's
Cubic
gold.
zirconia.
Actually, he's supposed to leave. He leaves cubic zirconia. Damn you, Krampus. I thought this tiara was real. I was bad for nothing. No, he leaves sticks.
Yeah, the
Like rootin'?
Yeah, just the rootin'. He just leaves some
Oh.
sticks for them.
I
So
thought he just beat the little shits with the rootin'.
it says
when
when
that's the bleep button, Jake.
Oh my god. See, it's
So-
it's the bitter tears.
Yes,
Bitter
bitter
tears.
tears. Drink those bitter tears, Jake. Drink them. When children put out their shoes for St. Nicholas to fill, so I guess they leave their stinky little shoes for St. Nicholas to put candy in, they are hoping for some sort of treat. But based on everything I have heard about the Krampus, I am not sure if a stick or perhaps a lump of coal is all that bad. What is the alternative? That he puts me in his sack and takes me to hell, or that he beats me with his sticks? I think I would choose sticks over either of those choices. Yes.
I will say I did do a dramatic reading of a Krampus poem. And spoiler alert,
Oh.
they did
Let's
get put
hear
in the
it.
sack and got dragged to hell.
Let's hear your dramatic
Well,
reading.
we
Yeah.
don't need like. Are we done with the quiz and everything? Because
Oh, the last one, yeah, it was just a short little quiz. It says on the postcard sent by my friend, there is a picture of the Krampus carrying something. What is he probably carrying?
screaming children in the sack that he's dragging to hell or to eat.
Well,
Yep.
you would think that that would be the answer, but this answer is, and I'll just go ahead and say it. It is thought that it's chains. So it's thought that the
Oh yeah, yeah,
chains
yeah.
of the Krampus symbolize the binding of Satan in the Christian church. So that's another thing of combining old traditions with Christian ideas and theology and mixing them all up there.
We're just trying to
Sometimes,
take credit for something
yes.
that's not their work.
Exactly.
Sometimes the
Again.
yes, again, yes. Sometimes the chains also contain bells, and the Krampus makes a terrible racket as he goes from place to place. Some believe that the noise originated in pre-Christian times when pagans were trying to scare away evil winter spirits, like you said earlier. As the Krampus rattles his chains and announces his presence, clever
Little
children
too
may
on the nose.
choose. Yes. Clever children may choose to run away. I mean, if you're smart and you've been really bad and you hear Krampus coming down, don't you think you'd like run? Crap.
I mean, but you're a
Run.
kid. Where are you gonna run?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'd find a way.
What? And I was like, what's the bar for like Krampus bad versus, you know,
no.
needing
I've
a little
known
like
some
getting a
really
little
bad
cold?
kids.
Yeah, like did you burn down the barn?
Yeah.
Right.
You know what goes into it?
With your
Did you-
brothers and sisters in it. Yeah.
You know, so
Well,
that's pretty
sometimes
bad.
your brothers and sisters are deserving of being burned in the barn.
They
Oh, I
had it
totally agree
coming.
with that.
They
Yeah.
had it coming.
They only had themselves to blame.
That's one of the very few plays or Broadway like plays I actually paid to go see.
Musicals. We call them
Yeah,
musicals.
Musicals, yes.
See, I'm a Philistine. I don't know this stuff.
So I have two
I saw the
degrees, so
movie.
I can say that.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh dear. No, but I'm like, because you think about again all those very naughty children. Like, let's look at a Ted Bundy, for example, who, was killing all of his family's pets. That didn't
Yes.
qualify for Krampus.
Yeah, exactly. Come on. Couldn't have taken
Krampus.
him away then. To all the people that would have been scared.
He's slacking.
Slacking Krampus. Onto
Mhm.
Krampus.
I like how June is fading into her Krampusness.
Yeah. Oh, I wish I had my
You're becoming
horns.
one with the Krampus.
That's true. It's true.
Melding.
Mhm.
As he melds with your bosom. It's double duty. Not devil duty, double duty.
Or is it?
Yes. So, Jake,
Yes, ma'am.
would you like to share your
My Krampus story? I mean, I guess it's
dramatic
getting
story?
to the time where we'll be having our guests come in to tell
well,
their
it's about
Krampus
15
tales.
minutes till, or no?
Okay, well, this story's just under 4 minutes. It's a dramatic reading with animations.
Let's
We
see.
love that. So let me share. I guess I'll put this on full screen. Just so you know, when it kicks over, on YouTube, you might see what everything else is. It's probably going to be like drag queens because I watch a lot of Trixie and Katya.
We love drag
yeah.
queens.
Yes. So let me see what I can do. And I will select the screen.
Is there a Krampus drag queen? That
Oh,
would
I
be
If there's
bet.
not,
amazing.
there should be.
Totally. I'm sure it's coming,
Completely.
right?
Mhm.
So here we go. And I hit share. I hope. Can you see some nice ornamentation?
I see
Yes,
some nice
ornamentation.
ornamentation.
Okay, so let me go ahead and play this, and it's perfectly fine to give me your feedback. This is actually one of the first times I did a narration video thing like this. So. I like how everyone's so intent on watching it, like, hey gang, you've got Jake here from Mystic Moon Cafe, as well as Ghostly Activities. And this evening's story is a poem. It's from Hello Poetry. It's about Krampus, and it's written by Jameson Bell. He recorded it, I believe, in November 2017. And with that, we will get started with the poem. It came upon a Christmas Eve, not so long ago. A beast deformed in stature walked out from the snow. Its eyes were sharp and wild, jagged teeth like shards. It went from house to house, leaving hoofprints in the yards. Glancing into windows warm with light and life, it was here to reconcile an old and bitter strife. It had a bag that screamed and cried as it dragged it on the ground. An awful thing, just an awful thing, to have to hear that sound. It threw its nose into the air and began to sniff and snort. This demon was onto something, but what, I can't report. In the bitter cold, you could smell its breath of rot and discontent. The chains that draped its frame made its spine look broke and bent. The wind it howled in vain to warn the people of this beast. Its cries went unregarded as people sat before their feast. The demon ceased its searching when it came upon my house. I did my best to hide and stay as quiet as a mouse. I walked back into the shadows in the corner of my room, voiceless, breathless, terrified. What was this thing of gloom? I heard it leap onto the deck and drop its sack upon the floor. A resounding thud caked in mud. It wasn't crying anymore. I left my room and crept down the stairs to see if it got in, hoping it wasn't that demon who they said would eat my skin. It stood before the fireplace. The front door was opened wide. I don't know how this thing got in, but I had nowhere left to hide. It turned its face from the fire with a scowl you'd have to see. The demon had a quarrel, and that quarrel was with me. It pulled out from the pocket of its robe all black and charred a burning piece of paper, then handed me its card. The card read only Krampus before I felt its claws upon my throat. Now I'm in a bag with other kids, set for some other place remote. We were bad and didn't listen to our parents and their orders. We broke a lot of rules and disrespected borders. Now old Krampus has us, and he'll probably sell us off as food. This is what you get if you're whiny, mean, or rude. Now have a Merry Christmas and do as you've been told, lest you wind up in a demon's bag, being dragged upon the road.
Oh, that was good.
That was about it. Okay, let me
like
escape out of this and stop sharing. And this is not escaping out like I thought it would escape out. There we go. We are. So let me stop sharing. There you go.
Oh,
That was
that
my
was
that was my
nice.
little thank you. That was my little contribution for the
Nice.
night. Thank you.
Very,
Very
nice.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
And Kim's in theater, so she can critique my vocal performance, which I did in one take, and it probably showed.
I thought it was lovely. The at the
Thank
very
you.
beginning with the balls,
Mhm.
I could see the reflection in the one ball. So
I
that's
can see you. I'm just glad you're
Actually,
wearing clothes.
That's
Oh.
a video. That's a video clip out of Shutterstock. It's not actually. I didn't actually
well,
film it.
I can see someone reflected in the ball.
I'm glad they
Krampus.
were wearing clothes. That's all I can say.
Well, you know, we are in the time of pajama people at home, and we've had some broadcast journalists busted for
That was pretty funny.
exposure.
Mhm.
So that's my contribution for storytelling tonight.
that was
Thank you
lovely.
That
much.
was
Thank
very
you.
nice. Thank you, Jake.
Bravo.
Bravissimo.
All right. And next on our agenda, would you guys like to do your Tales from the Tombstone stories?
I think that might take too long.
Oh,
I-
okay.
I
okay.
was just thinking that too. I was thinking, I wonder if we have time to do that. And I was like, well,
Mm,
I don't know. I was going to talk about Princess Angeline. What are Wendy's suggested that we would find a different graveyard or cemetery. And for those in the audience, do you know what the difference is between a graveyard and a cemetery? Anybody? Anybody?
I do, but I forgot. I did, but I forgot.
Well, a graveyard or a churchyard is actually a graveyard on a church property. So a lot of people believe that the closer you were buried to the church, the closer you were to God. That's why you see a lot of people considered saints or high up in the church that they would be buried inside the church. And cemetery is basically kind of a park. Now, it took a lot of convincing for people to be moved to the cemetery because they were afraid if they were moved to a cemetery, they would not get close to God. So it really relied on the vanity of wealthy people that they could create these huge monuments to themselves, of their lives and their family in order to start being moved to the cemetery. So just a little knowledge and trivia for you all. And we have the lovely Nadine with us.
Hey,
Hi,
guys.
welcome.
Hi.
Hi. I wish I had a cool background like you, but I tried, and it's like it cuts off half my face.
Yes.
And
I have to be careful. If I move too fast, I'm a floating head. So I have to really be careful.
well, it's so fun to be with you. I've been listening.
Oh.
What you guys been saying?
I don't know if that's good or bad.
Yeah. Tonight. It's like, So Nadine, would you like to just kind of introduce yourself or tell a little something about yourself?
Sure. Well, I'm originally from Germany. I was born and raised in a small town up north. I grew up right on the border to Denmark. So if you would go anywhere more north, you'd be in Denmark. And actually, a mutual friend reached out to me and said, you guys were doing this podcast about Krampus. And since I'm German, she thought I was some kind of expert. So she wanted me to she wanted me to come in and, kind of tell a little bit about how it actually happens, or at least from myself. Being from the northern part of Germany, it's a little bit different, or I should say a lot different than being from the south. It's kind of like in the United States, you have like almost like two completely different cultures, and they
Yes, we sure do.
celebrate different. I've lived in Texas for a few years, and now I'm in Washington, so I know.
It's like another country.
It's completely different. And just between us, I like Washington a whole lot more than I do Texas. But anyways, so we've been in Washington for about 2 years now, and I love it. It reminds me a lot of home.
I bet, yes.
Yeah, the climate and everything. It's awesome. I love it. Lots of hiking, which I picked up after we moved here. So I've been doing a lot of that. So it's been great.
Nice.
That's awesome. So with, with kind of the basics, I don't know. I think it's mostly contributed to the movies and everything like this. Well, I don't know. How should we proceed, just to have her kind of tell some of the things that the basic story of Krampus?
Well,
Krampus.
I have to say that from the most part what you guys been saying, I'm actually quite impressed. It sounds pretty close to what I learned growing up, but Krampus is a southern, like more like towards Bavaria, Austria kind of thing. Where I'm from, we actually call him Knecht Ruprecht. So he has a completely different name. Mm-hmm. But it's basically the same guy. He is the bad part to Saint Nicholas, or Nikolaus, which that's what we call him in Germany, and he's basically there to punish all the naughty children. And one thing that you guys were talking about earlier was what he leaves in the shoes. Well, first, okay, I have to back up. Okay. So yes, Krampusnacht is December 5th, but December 6th we have Nikolaus, and I have 2 children, and we still, June is all excited. Yay, it's my birthday.
Yes, my birthday.
It's a tradition that I still, till this day, celebrate with my kids. So on the night of December 5th, you get your best, and my kids always try to get their biggest shoe because they think the bigger the shoe, the more presents they get. But yeah, you take your shoe, you shine it, you make it all look all nice so it's not stinky.
Okay.
And
Good to know.
and you leave it on the windowsill or by the door. And then Nikolaus comes and leaves a present if you were a good child. And if you were bad, you either get coal or eine Rute, which if Nikolaus or Krampus or Knecht Ruprecht leaves it in your stocking or in your shoe, it's meant for your parents to use to punish you.
Oh, I see. That makes more sense now. I was like,
does, yeah.
Yeah. So it's basically Krampus saying, you know, you have naughty children, here's a stick, beat them. So next year they'll behave better.
Yes.
So I can say in my 35 years that I've been on this earth, I never had a coal or eine Rute in my shoe.
Yay.
So thank you.
Oh,
Good.
very well done.
But my dad has told me that he and his siblings, when they were growing up, they have gotten coal in their stockings before, in their shoes before. So yeah, it's definitely a thing and people do it. I have friends. I lived in Bavaria for a couple of years and they would do the Krampus run, where basically I don't know why you would do that to yourself, but you go downtown and there's scary people dressed up as Krampus and they run through town and scream at everybody and scare people. I have a friend who does it every year and she always posts pictures and it looks pretty awesome, but that's not something that I grew up doing. So we were very basic. So we had, you know, behave yourself or you get beat or you get coal. That's where my childhood trauma comes from, in case anybody is wondering.
Oh no. That would, you know, I was thinking about that. Some of these, you know, so you read some of the stories and you think, that is really terrifying for children.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to expand on that, you watch Disney movies like the Cinderella and all that stuff. And, you know, that's really watered down versions of the original stories. And I grew up with the original stories. And I don't think kids nowadays would be able to handle those.
No.
Because they are pretty brutal, but they all have a moral, you know, at the end. But yeah.
For a lark, I just read the fairy tale of Sleeping Beauty. I was just like, holy crap!
Yeah.
Basically, yeah, she's being raped while she's asleep and gives birth while she's asleep. I mean, it's like, oh my God.
Well, and did you know Red Riding Hood is based on a French tale, and it's basically about a girl losing her virginity. And the big bad wolf is basically the guy taking her virginity, taking her red hood, I guess. So that was news to me when Jacob is all like, oh my God.
He's going to be traumatized now.
So I'm totally digging it. But I was going to say, I grew up, I had grim fairy tales, but it was like everything's going to eat you and you're going to be paprika. And that's about it. Yeah.
Or the Cinderella stepsisters who like full on cut their toes off, get them into the shoe.
And get their eyes picked out.
Yeah, by the birds. Yes.
We need more of these movies.
Those are the more interesting versions of the stories.
I agree.
I was so disappointed. I remember the first time I saw Little Mermaid, and I knew the original version where she turns into sea foam. I was so mad.
Well, fun fact.
Happy ending.
Fun fact: I was actually in a musical, and I played the evil witch, and I had to rap. So, but that was a couple of years. I can't do that anymore. That was back in high school. But I had like a crazy wig on and I had to rap. And I hope my parents didn't get that on video because that's not flattering.
If your parents are listening and they have it on video, please send it to us.
I'd love to see it. That might be a whole other show. Oh, that's fun.
Messed up fairy tale.
I don't know, but how much do you guys know about Saint Nicholas or Nikolaus? Like who he was and what he did?
Well, the only thing that I have, I mean, you know, I've heard different stories that he was a thief, and he would basically kind of be a Robin Hood that he stole from the rich and gave to the poor.
Well, he was actually a bishop, and he was born into riches. Like his parents were very rich, and he decided he wanted to share his riches. So kind of like a little bit like Robin Hood. And he would throw, it was like nuts and fruit through open windows and to like the poor people so they could feed themselves. I hope that's not something the Republicans are like, ooh, that would be a great idea to do.
She already knows this country well.
Let them eat cake.
Yeah.
Self-sufficiency, damn it. Self-sufficiency.
Pull yourself up by the bootstraps.
That's right, damn it. Rugged individualism. I don't give a shit if you starved to death. Okay, moving on.
Anyways, he was walking down the streets, and when there was a window open and the people were poor, he would throw nuts, fruit, whatever he could find in people's windows. And I believe, and this is just me personally, I think that's kind of where the idea comes from nowadays with the Americans hanging their stockings. I think it might be a version of the shoe by the window with St. Nicholas.
And I always thought that that was a German custom. I guess I did not know.
The socks by the chimney? I can't tell you how many Christmas movies I watched growing up, and I was like, ooh, I wish we had a chimney so I could put up some stockings. And my parents were like, what? Absolutely not.
Yeah, well,
So
when I hear the St. Nicholas thing, I always think about that Dutch horror movie where Santa was killing everyone.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Santa sleigh or something.
Something like that.
Or the Santa Claus one.
Yeah.
I think I've seen
just
all
like,
of them now.
Yeah.
I was watching Rare Exports last night.
Oh, love
Yes.
exports.
But you know, they called the creature in that movie Santa Claus, or whatever, but it was supposed to be the original Santa Claus, but of course he had those huge horns and everything, and I was like, was this translated wrong? It's supposed to be Krampus. So it was very interesting. But yeah, I mean, how about movies? We talk about a lot of these different movies, and I mean, are there any movies that you have watched and went like, what in the hell were they thinking?
I've actually to this day have not watched a single like Krampus movie. Like I see the trailers and I'm just like, what the hell is this? So I haven't seen, I mean, I've heard of them and I read about them, and I know it's like this huge phenomenon. And again, I think it just goes back to the fact that, and not to like diss anyone, but Americans,
that's okay.
Americans don't really have their own culture, correct? So they like take things from other cultures and kind of make it their own. And I think that's kind of what's happening with the whole Krampus thing, is like they found something that they thought was kind of cool, and now they're milking it for everything that it's worth. It's not the first time that has happened. I mean, that has happened to many different cultures. And I have never watched any of those movies, but I can understand where the fascination is coming from, just because Christmas is all about being happy and cheerful and being with our loved ones. And Krampus, or Knecht Ruprecht, or whatever you want to call him, is just such a complete opposite of that.
Well, I know that we have a figgy pudding festival out here in Seattle, and it's basically where different little sweet choirs get together and they sing their sweet little songs, and they have their little groups all over the place, and judges come around and judge everybody. So a couple of years ago we decided to kind of be the opposite, since it was for Spooked in Seattle, which is a ghost tour company. And a lot of us got together and dressed up as ghosts and things like that, and
kind of Victorian,
kind of macabre.
I like it.
And everything like this. And we went, and then we had a Krampus with us. And I have to say that we were one of the biggest hits there, because everybody was like,
is there video of that?
We do. We have actually a lot of videos. Like, I wish I could.
There was a little bit on the news too.
Yeah, we were on the news and everything like this. So it was really fun. But it just seemed like people were really wanting that, because there was so much cute cuteness and sweetness around us. We come in with our pale faces and ghostly, you know.
Well,
And Krampus that little kids. Scott was actually a guy in our group named Scott. He was playing Krampus, and I can't even tell you how many kids wanted to have their picture taken with him.
mhm.
I
It
bet.
was so fun. And he was the traditional one. He had the long tongue, you know, which was kind of inappropriate because he kept trying to lick the kids, you know.
But
Gotta sample them.
pre-COVID too, very much.
Yes, it was pre-COVID, 2 years ago, and you know.
What
A little spit will help you grow up strong.
exactly? That's
A
what
little
you
spit help that immune
Build up the
system.
immune system.
You get some Krampus spit on you, you don't got to worry about that COVID-19 none. Little bit of spit.
I will say, as for Krampus coming to the U.S., I know that there was a because the Krampus postcards have been a thing, and in
Right.
I want to say it was sometime in the early 2000s, 2004, 2005. There was a book of those published here that really took off.
Hmm.
Of all of the different kind of cheeky, funny, creepy Krampus postcards, and that if you start to trace back where it kind of became more of a thing here, there is definitely a tie-in
It
to
must be.
exposure of that then.
Well, I remember a couple of years ago, what is that called, where people try to get money to like fund things? Not GoFundMe, but there's a,
Like Kickstarter?
yes, there was a Kickstarter because we have Elf on the Shelf. And there was a Kickstarter for the Krampus on the, I don't remember exactly what the rhyme was, but they were trying to do like the anti-Elf on the Shelf. And I was like, this shit is awesome because I hate the Elf on the Shelf.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Elf
And I have never done it, but I would totally do a Krampus on, I don't know, the whiskey bottle, whatever. Like I would get on board with that. But I don't know whatever happened with that. But that, I thought that was a really neat idea.
Oh, that would have been cute.
Yeah, I agree. Just put it on your kid's pillow, you know, he's watching you. You
Like
know?
Krampus
Who's
on
watching
the
you?
mantle.
Oh, is
Oh,
that
you
what it
can-
was?
Well, you can get, apparently there are Krampus on the mantles that you can buy, complete with a little Krampus book.
Oh,
Krampus
I
on
will
the
get
mantle,
one.
back in stock at Pop Shop.
Isn't
So
that something?
apparently,
It's
friends
taken
at
off.
home.
It is a thing.
It is a
Awesome.
thing. You can buy a little Krampus doll to put in your mantle, and
One,
there's a
too.
little book that goes with it, Santa's Horned Helper. So
Santa's
Aw.
horned helper.
Elfer.
Oh, well, that's one way to describe him.
Well, you know, it is true. I think it was about 5 or 6 years ago. I remember there was something, you know, I can't remember what, if I was just learning about Krampus or something. I don't think I'd ever heard it. It may have been about 8 years ago or so. And I never heard of it before. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. What a great thing that we don't know about. And there's so many traditions from around the world. And we were just talking about the Christmas cat in Iceland, that if a child
Never
does
heard of
not
that, and I thought that was so awesome.
no, if a child does not get
cats.
clothes for Christmas, then the Christmas cat will come and eat them. And I was like, what a great way for your child to be excited about getting clothes for Christmas. Because I remember when I was little, it's like, oh, great. You
Yeah.
tight. This is wonderful.
I'd just like to know that children get traumatized all over the world in different shapes and forms. I mean, that's fantastic.
We should do a show just on different cultures and
Oh.
different, you know, just a different everything from
I have
different
stories.
traumatizing cultures from around
Yes.
the world. But
Well, did you guys talk at all about Schwarzer Peter?
no, we hadn't yet. The Black
Yeah.
Pete.
That's
the
quite the
less-
topic.
A little controversial.
Yeah, just a little.
He shows up on an episode. I think they cut him now from the episode of The Office,
Off The Office, yeah,
Yeah.
they cut him out.
but they still have
Belschnickel. Which I have to say, I love The Office, and when we watched that episode, everybody like looked at me and was like, "Is that a thing?" And I was like, "I've never heard of Belschnickel before until The Office." And then I looked him up and I was like, oh, I guess it's like Knecht Ruprecht or Krampus, but it's just like a completely different version. But I think Dwight on The Office, isn't he like, he's German, but he's also Amish?
The illusion they kind of give is that he's some kind of weird offshoot of
Pennsylvania, Dutch, Amish, German. I have no idea.
They make up a lot of there's a lot of fake German words that he said.
Yes, I'm like, that's not, and I love it, and that's just me as a German in general. Did you guys ever watch that new version, the Johnny Depp version of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and they have that German kid on there?
Oh yeah.
I went and I saw it at the movie theater. Me and my husband had just started dating, and we were at the movie theater watching this movie, and this German kid on there, and all he does is eat sausage and chocolate. And I was like, what is happening? And everybody just always stares at me. Every time there's anything German related, everybody just looks at me like, hello?
Is that true?
Is that a thing? Do you guys just eat chocolate and sausage all day and sit around in your lederhosen and with your beer? And I'm like, yes, that is true. That is all we do. Oh, and sauerkraut.
Yeah,
sauerkraut. Yes,
I have sauerkraut in my purse. It's
always
everywhere.
Just
you need sauerkraut here. You need a brezel here.
That'd be so bad. Oh my god.
Anyways, yes, the Black Pete or Schwarzer Peter, which is not something I really grew up with. I kind of remember it kind of in the background there, but I think that is more a thing in like Croatia, in like that sort of area, in the Netherlands. And I guess the story is that he's kind of like St. Nicholas's helper, and the reason why he's always black is because he goes down the chimney and gets the sud or whatever all over him. So again, I'm wondering if that's the case, if that's where Santa Claus comes in, down the chimney, if it's just different ideas, different cultures smushing it all up, or I'm not that familiar with the background of Santa Claus, just what, Tim Allen told me on Santa Claus, that apparently when you murder Santa Claus, you become Santa Claus. So
yes, you know how that goes.
But yes, he's a very controversial figure. I just read an article the other day that they're trying to, I guess, outlaw him.
Well, I know. I guess that the president of Canada got in a lot of trouble because when he was young, he portrayed
Justin.
Like yes. So yes, there were some pictures and it came out and it was a big scandal. So yeah, I can.
Yeah, I remember that.
I went down the chimney.
I didn't hear that explanation. Is that just going to be the explanation for everybody that does blackface?
Yeah, I was
I went down the chimney.
There's nothing racist, I swear. Yeah.
Should just say I crawled through the sewer is what it should be.
We won't get into politics though.
No.
Justin's in a little more trouble today anyway. So.
Kim, I had one thing. That's the only thing I wrote down while I was listening. But I think it was Kim that said that Krampus comes from the German word Krampen, which means claw.
That's
right?
That's what they say.
Kim is like, I didn't say that. Well, actually, Krampen is the German word for clams. So like, the German word for claws is Kralle. So it's still kind of similar, but it's actually like, it's the German word for clams, which I guess kind of makes sense because his hands are kind of like,
clampy.
Clampy.
So clampy.
So I just wanted to clear that up.
Those weird little things too that like the more stories get told, the stuff that changes as you go along.
Yes.
Right.
The giant game of
and
telephone.
how it works. Yes.
Yeah. That's funny.
So you said that this was, a kind of a semi part of your childhood. Or did they just? It was, kind of a forethought of. Did they mention it, or did they, the not Father Christmas, but Santa Claus or Saint Nicholas?
Well, Yeah, so Saint Nicholas or Nikolaus and Santa Claus are two different people, which often they kind of get thrown in as being the same person, but they're not. So Saint Nicholas was a real person. So he was, a bishop, I believe, in Italy, if I remember correctly. And then Santa Claus, or in German we call him Weihnachtsmann, which translates to Christmas man.
Oh, the Christmas man.
The Christmas man. So they're two completely different people. And there's actually a very famous German musician. He does a lot of children's songs, and he's actually made a song where he explains the difference between who Saint Nicholas is and who der Weihnachtsmann is. So that's two different people. But yeah, Saint Nicholas we celebrate on the 6th, and then der Weihnachtsmann, he comes in Germany. He actually comes on the 24th on Christmas Eve.
I didn't know that.
So with my kids, we do a mixture. We do an American-German mixture of things. And then on top of that, I grew up close to Denmark, so I have a lot of Scandinavian influence on my cultures as well. So it's a hodgepodge. We just kind of took whatever we liked from each culture, and we kind of like turned it into our own. So yeah, St. Nicholas is a big deal in Germany, and it was a big deal for me growing up, and we still celebrate it today. And yeah, we always knew that if we didn't behave, we would get beaten with sticks. So
Right. Oh my gosh. So
and,
I was just wondering what was hell? I mean, for children. I mean, did they ever portray that, or that it was just like, I mean, just a picture in your head of what you thought it would be? But did they ever like go into detail about hell for hell for children? Hell for children.
The interesting thing is that in Germany, we actually have religion classes in school. So we get taught religion in school, but it's every religion. It's not just Christianity. Like we learn about...
That's smart.
Yeah, we learn about whatever is out there, including atheism. So people that don't believe in, in any type of religion. And so we grew up, I think, with the pretty traditional views of, what heaven looks like and what hell looks like. And I remember one time I was in elementary school and they wanted us to draw what God looks like. And I just turned in a blank piece of paper, and they were like, what is this? Like, why didn't you draw anything? And I said, because I don't know if God even exists. And if he does, I don't think he's like a dude sitting in a sky with a beard, watching over people. So religion, depending on where you're from in Germany, the southern part is a lot of Catholics. And I grew up more with the, I think, Protestant belief, but my parents are not religious at all. So we actually never went to church, but very traditional views of, when you're good, you go to heaven, and when you're bad, you go to hell. Never really talked a lot about children going to hell. I think it was just assumed that children don't go to hell. So that's not really something is that something people talk about around here, that children go to hell?
Not really.
If in like Catholicism, if you're not
baptized,
purgatory, but although I always wondered, like, what's the cutoff? Is it like the legal drinking age? Like you hit 18 and now you're eligible for hell, but before that you're fine.
Yeah. What's
the rationale there?
Once you start back talking to your parents,
yeah,
that's the age.
Guess so. But no, when they say that Krampus takes the really bad children to hell, it's like, I was thinking,
in that aspect.
Does he leave them there, or do they just eat them?
He eats them.
Yeah, I was going to say. So I guess they don't stay.
Have you never tasted a child? They're delicious. So of course he just like straight up eats them.
It's
tears
like
of
veal.
The children too.
Yeah.
Delicious veal.
Yeah, I don't think we ever heard of him taking them anywhere other than, well, he would put them in his weird, creepy backpack and then eat them on the way, I guess, like a snack. But I've never heard of him. Yeah, I've never heard of him that there's like a special hell that he takes them
just
to.
holds them.
Yeah.
Later. tenderizes them under the fires of hell.
Nice
Slow
Dijon
roast.
mustard.
Dijon
Maybe some
sauerkraut.
Slow
Worcestershire
roast.
sauce.
Yeah, with sauerkraut and a beer.
Yeah. Mhm.
Special children's sausages.
Put them in a
No,
crock
I
pot.
think really what children were mostly scared of was not getting presents. I mean,
It's the worst.
that's the real deal breaker here is what I don't get any presents, everybody else got them, or that you would. I mean, I still remember I would wake up in the morning and I would be scared looking at my shoe, and all I would find would be eine Rute, and then my parents would basically free reign to beat me if they wanted to. So those were the things that I was scared of. I never thought of him taking me to any kind of hell or whatever. It was more like punishment from my parents or punishment from my fellow peers for shunning me because I didn't get a present. Those were the things I was scared of.
Oh man, that would be scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think my mom used to put coal in her sock just for fun, but
Oh, nice.
you'd have other things in there too.
Well, in Germany you can buy candy that looks like
Yes.
coal.
Yeah.
I
don't know if
usually
you
try
can
to
get
give
that
that to
around here.
friends. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I usually try to give
Fun.
that to friends, just saying, this is all you get.
Or the bag of marshmallows that's snowman poop.
Snowman poop, yes.
Or chocolate covered
Yum.
raisins, that's reindeer poop.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, there was always some kind of poop in
All
this.
kind of poop involved.
So you're a big
God.
poop family.
Yes, I think I have some Bigfoot poop.
Yeah, Yeti poop. Gotta love the Yeti poop.
It's like, almonds, so it's a little bit bigger.
I would hope. Otherwise, we got a little more fiber in big
Poor
diet.
Bigfoot. It needs a lot more fiber.
Eat the rootin'. Eat the rootin'.
No, it's just so fascinating. I have to say that I have embraced the learning more and more about Krampus. So it's just because it is so different and such away from the mainstream, and there's only so much, and especially if you're not a religious person,
Mhm.
it's like
Well, and there's not really anything equivalent to Krampus in American culture.
do we have anything? Do we have anything at all that's like
That's
just
ours?
yeah, just
I mean,
Santa Claus.
That we
I
didn't
guess-
take from somebody
Yeah,
else?
I mean, it was
Yeah.
borrowed if
Yeah.
we got it.
It's all because we're a
I mean,
hodgepodge country.
The only thing I can think of, like in like more modern movies, is they're trying to make Jack Frost kind of be evil. But even is he not from like some kind of Russian? I don't even know where he comes from. If he's American or if he's from a different.
He because he's a variant on Old Man Winter.
So that's Russia.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's another figure that variations on him pop up in different cultures, kind of have their own version. Because there was a he pops up in some Anglo-Saxon stuff, but yeah, it's one of those characters that, I mean, not unlike Bigfoot too, where you've got Bigfoot and you've got Yeti and the Abominable Snowman. Like there are a few kind of universal
Mm-hmm.
figures.
I've got
But-
it. No,
Oh,
I've got
yes.
it right here, and
All right.
there's a few
Okay.
origins. Origins. Are you ready?
Yes.
This is from Wikipedia, so we know it's good.
Oh, it's good stuff.
Means it's
Almost as
true.
good as Twitter.
Yes. yes. So these are the originations of it. It's all came up
Originations.
around the same originations. They've all come up
I
around
like
the
that.
same
Good
time.
name.
Are you
Bigly
ready?
word.
Yes. Jack Frost, he may originate from Anglo-Saxon and Norse winter customs and has an entire chapter named after him in the Kalevala, the Finnish national epic compiled from their ancient oral tradition. In Russia, however, he has taken on a different form as Grandfather Frost, and in Germany, there is instead an entirely different entity known as Mrs. Holla. There are
Frau
very-
Holle.
Okay. Thank you for that.
His insight.
And there are various other mythological beings who have taken on similar roles unique to the nation's folklore. For the United States, he is first referenced in the Christmas song, aka Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire, where he was presented as a villain.
Nipping at your nose, man.
Nipping at the nose, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a scoop.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, I never even thought about that. Frau Holle is the kind of like Jack Frost. I've never. Frau Holle has there's a big fairy tale about
Oh,
her.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she, let me think. So there was this really poor girl that lost her dad. Was like her dad died or something, and she was taken in by these really terrible people, and who had a daughter, and they were very lazy. And this poor girl was kind of used to like clean and do everything that she was supposed to do. Well, one day she was walking somewhere, and Frau Holle found her, and Frau Holle was like, if you help me, you will be rewarded. So she helped without complaining. There was something about bread. She had to make bread, amongst other things. And Frau Holle actually is the person that makes it snow. Apparently, when she shakes out her bedding, it snows on Earth. Well, the girl obviously did everything right and got rewarded at the end. As she walks through this door, and it like showers her with money. And so she comes home, and the mom then sends the other daughter, because the mom isn't stupid, and it's like, oh, well, if I have one daughter that gets showered with gifts, I'm going to send my other daughter out there too. Well, the other daughter is very lazy and doesn't do anything. She like burns the bread. She doesn't help with shaking out the bedding. So at the end, she also walks through this door, and she gets covered in tar. And then Frau Holle shakes her bedding, and then she gets covered in the feathers or whatever from the bedding as well. So kind of the moral of the story is, don't be lazy, do what your mom tells you to do, or like many stories, or you get punished for it. And I never thought of Frau Holle as being like Jack Frost, but it makes sense. Like, she's the person, when she shakes out her bedding, that's when it snows on Earth, apparently.
So funny. I just saw that. It was a movie, and I think it was made in the 50s, the late 50s, and it was colorized. And I thought it was from Finland, but it was on Riff Tracks, actually. I don't know if you've ever seen Riff Tracks or anything about it. It's a lot like Mystery Science Theater 3000. It's the same guys that did that. And now they do Riff Tracks, where they take these old, really bad movies, or not just old, any kind of movies, and they make fun of it. But it's really funny if you ever get a chance to watch any Riff Tracks. And there's a lot on Amazon, I think. Yeah. But that was one of them. When you were saying this, I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that was...
I have to look that up.
That was it was really bad. Really bad. I was really glad that they were on there saying funny things about it. But it was, but yes, it was very...
So is Jack Frost a villain then? Or is he supposed to be a... No.
Only if he turns into an evil snowman.
He's not strictly, other than there is that awful horror movie called Jack Frost that I think Michael Keaton's in.
Oh, and, no, that was...
No, Michael Keaton is the one with the snowman. Right?
Oh no, I'm that to me is a horror film. I don't know what you're talking about. I think that movie is utterly so much more terrifying than the other Jack Frost movie. But there is there is the Jack Frost movie from it was the late 90s, I think, and it's
bad.
It's really bad.
But
I didn't know, like, Shannon Elizabeth is in it, so there you go.
Oh, she was amazing in Cursed.
I mostly remember
Ghosts.
I think
wasn't she in American Pie?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
She was
that's
the one with the one with the
no, it's awful. There's a whole scene that, like, something with his carrot nose that
I don't even want to know.
Yeah, no, you don't. You really don't. It is a horrible movie.
But when I think about Jack Frost, if you remember, like, the Frosty the Snowman stop motion.
Yes.
And they did the deal with the Heat Miser was more the bad guy than Jack Frost was.
Well, and in the third Santa Claus movie, he's also the villain.
Yeah,
but he's played by Martin Short.
Yes, he's so cute. I love him.
But he redeems himself by the end.
I guess.
And because his character chooses to be a villain, but isn't viewed as a villain until he starts being an asshole and trying to be Santa.
Well, there's this great animated movie. What is that with where there's Jack Frost
Rise of the
and
Guardians.
Yes,
I love that.
Yes, that's
Oh,
fantastic
That's
movie.
right.
and there he is, the hero
Right.
Mhm.
in that movie.
I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
And it's kind of like his origin story too, right? They kind of
Mhm.
explains where he comes from, which I
Mhm.
don't even know if that's authentic. Does anybody know the origin story of Jack Frost? But I thought it was great.
No, it's a really well done movie. Yeah. And he's so sprite-like and cute.
Right.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Baldwin as the kind of Russian.
Oh,
Santa,
Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I see.
Well, isn't there there's this weird subculture that kind of ships Jack Frost from that movie with Elsa from Frozen?
I'd believe it. I bet there's fan fiction too.
Probably.
There, I spent lots of time on Twitter, and there's some weird stuff on there. Like, how do people have time to do all this?
They're conspiracy theories. It's like, what? I never even thought of that.
I
Oh,
know.
my.
It's crazy.
Well, I know that Nadine, you said you didn't really watch. Oh, you don't really watch a lot of that, or haven't seen, most of the Krampus movies. But like this for the everybody else. What is one of your favorite movies depicting Krampus? I guess you'd say for the holidays, which probably is not even, probably not as culturally accurate. I guess you'd say.
Yeah. What are the storylines in those?
I would say,
Well-
what is one of your favorite ones?
Because
I
there's a
was gonna
lot
say-
of really low rent ones. I mean, there's Michael Dougherty's film from what, like 5 years ago or so, which is probably the most well known.
Oh, just Krampus
Krampus,
with
but
the-
otherwise, like he
has
pops
the
up.
snow globe.
Yeah, and he
That's-
pops up in
Oh.
a Christmas Horror Story, but then there's a whole thread of like Mother Krampus and
Yes.
Krampus 2 and I don't know, Son of
So
Krampus, the
bad.
Krampusing, and
I watch all of them. They're so bad, but I can't help it.
But what is this? I want to hear a story. Like, what are these movies about? Like, what happens?
I think my favorite one, I mean, I do love, I know it's not even slightly, they take it way out of context, but I did love the Krampus one, which was basically about a little boy that his family was so dysfunctional and he just wanted his family to, feel the love, I guess, of Christmas and feel love. And he wrote this beautiful note. Did he write the note to Santa?
he wrote to Santa, but then he rips it up.
He rips it
Yeah.
up because he's crying and, and
Because his
just
cousin
tears.
says like tells him there's no such thing, and
Aw.
he
he's disillusioned with life and he hates everybody. So then he rips it up and throws it out the window, and of course the pieces of it start to float. Oh, there's
and he
my
makes
head.
a wish. He makes a
Like, yes. There we go. I'm back.
To me, it's by far the most well done for no other reason than it's a great cast. You've got Adam Scott and Toni Collette, and
Really?
yeah. Oh, the movie's really fun. Is it
Yeah, it's
accurate? Not
fun.
necessarily, but it's a really fun movie.
Is Adam Scott the dad?
Yeah. Adam Scott's married to Toni Collette.
What a weird couple.
Yes. It's a kind of a horror comedy. It is
Yeah.
a little,
Mhm.
is it kind of, I was like, is there gore?
It's PG. I
I'm
teach
trying
a
to
horror
think
film
because I'm so
discussion
splatter.
showing it
desensitized from
to
gore.
my
But
kids.
what does Krampus do? He just walks around, murders a bunch of people?
Pretty much.
He takes them like
his
you don't
minions.
see. Yeah, he
Yeah.
takes them. They don't really get. You don't see really what happens, and I don't want to give away
Yeah.
the ending for
Well,
anyone who's not
It's-
seen it.
So there is some blood splatter there. It's like Krampus.
It's PG-13.
Yeah, Krampus doesn't always do it directly. He has his toys.
His little creepy gingerbread
animated,
men
his
and the
His
toys.
evil
minions.
gingerbread
His
man.
But he-
minions.
They one of them swallows a kid. I remember the
Yeah.
kid getting swallowed.
Oh my God, my
like-
German heart is just screaming inside
Yeah.
of my body.
I know.
Yeah,
The evil-
there was blood splatter from time to time. There was
yeah.
there was
But
one blood.
it's
splat-
mild.
Jack in
It's
the
not
Box.
it's again, it's PG-13. Like
It is very fun. Let's just
Yeah.
say that.
it's funny too. It has a
Yes.
really funny sense
Lots
of humor.
of funny scenes.
Hmm.
Yes.
It's not accurate, but it's a good time. But I do
Yes.
think it's what a lot of people get their Krampus knowledge from,
Yikes.
because it's probably the most prominent representation of Krampus we've had
Yeah.
here.
Which
It was a mass released film with big names in it.
So are you telling me there's people running around actually believing that Krampus has evil gingerbread men that do his
Probably.
bidding?
Yeah, probably.
Probably, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We're okay with that.
But see, that's what we do in America. We pick out the things we like and we make them our own.
Yeah, that's very
And
true.
And then we
Enhance
take
it.
credit.
And then you enhance it.
The
Can't argue with
American
that.
way.
Guys, we are not actually broadcasting.
Oh.
We're
Facebook shut us down because Sony lodged a dispute, and all I can figure is it was the music from Jake's video.
No, that was
What?
Regularly licensed.
Okay, then I submitted a dispute, but
Maybe it's because we're just talking about Krampus. Oh, you know what? They shut me down for that video before.
really,
Yeah, and I sent in the stuff because I had from Shutterstock, I had the licenses for
Mhm.
it.
Okay,
And so I submitted it and then they let it come back up because that ornament appears in the movie Krampus, though it just looks like it. It is not
it's
the
not
same.
it.
It's not it. So
Mhm.
it's from Shutterstock. I own
Okay.
the clips.
Because I've been getting messages from multiple people now that are saying that they can't get to the video anymore. So
Oh,
Oh,
well, the other
no.
thing is
Mhm.
we've got Krampus all over the place.
right,
He-Man.
right, but
That's weird.
Yeah.
So
it is.
basically, I mean, I wonder if it's just going to be up again. I mean, I wonder if after it's over.
Yeah. Because I
Will it
mean,
pop up?
I'm
It
watching
still says
our
live.
video. Yeah, I'm
oh, I
watching
have
our
been
video.
too, but it
Yeah.
says it's been blocked in by eight
Eight
places or something.
okay.
Or
Oh, boy.
jeez.
yeah,
Nice, Zuckerberg. Very nice.
yeah. Thank you so much.
So,
Hey, I was
What
just
does that
thinking.
mean?
Keep talking. Wait, yeah.
Well, isn't oh, I guess the Grinch isn't really like Krampus, huh? Not really. Kind of, maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit. Yes.
Well, he steals
yes.
Christmas. He steals
He
Mhm.
does steal
Christmas.
Christmas. Yeah.
So
Is
could
he
he-
killing and eating children?
No, he just
no.
he just hates
Just
all
hates
the
them.
joy.
Yeah.
And he has minions. A minion.
So maybe
got
he's
his
like the
puppy.
little doggy.
he's like the Disney version of Krampus.
I mean, I suppose he's kind of the most like American. I mean, I feel like that's a thing America can take ownership of. The Grinch.
The Grinch.
Because
Yeah.
Dr. Seuss and Dr. Seuss was American.
True.
So
Yeah.
that's, I guess that's a piece of that's we made Dr. Seuss, guys. We bring stuff to the table sometimes. Not often, but sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. It's kind of sad.
All the who's in Whoville.
But is that maybe where he got his inspiration from? I don't know. I'm just could be. I have no
Yeah,
idea.
I'm looking it up,
Oh,
Yeah.
look at Jacob.
and I thought he was an immigrant. He is not. He was born in the States. He was born
Oh,
in
Seuss?
Massachusetts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was born in
I thought he
Massachusetts.
was. Oh, where? Springfield.
Yeah.
Springfield, Massachusetts.
Oh, and he went to Dartmouth.
I feel like the Grinch is more
Wow.
of a Scrooge character, if anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he
I
has
guess
that kind
so.
of bah humbug thing going on where he just like, I don't like all this joy. I want
Mhm.
people to be mean.
And then by the end, his heart grew big and big, and
I'm still waiting for that
just like
song.
Scrooge.
Cold down.
Yeah, Krampus doesn't care.
Yeah.
That's why
No.
Krampus and I are bros.
Yeah.
Yeah, Krampus never shows. Is there a time in any stories of him showing
Any
like,
kind
you
of
know-
redemption or any kind of empathy? No. He
That's
just
what I'm
hates
wondering.
everybody.
If any little kid begs for their life and he says, okay. No.
No, not that I can think of. I've never. He's pretty ruthless.
But then again, if you only have to worry about it if you're kind of being a dick.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
Like,
what child is not a dick sometimes?
There's levels.
That's a
Yeah.
very good
Levels.
point. That's a very good point.
It is kind of ingrained in kidness.
But this
though,
is
yeah.
why I have dogs, not kids. No offense, parents out there.
Yeah. I take my hat off to all the parents that are having to deal with dick kids. You
But
know.
we could also say you raised them.
That's true.
The apples and the trees.
I'm just saying I'm kind of a dick, so if my kids are little dicks, then that's okay.
Mm.
But
Oh,
there's the
that's a-
behavior you're like fine taking ownership of too. You're like, yeah, that's because
Yeah.
No.
But sometimes I listen to my kids talk and I'm like, where the hell did you hear that? Oh, well, never mind. You are my child. Yeah. It's like looking in a mirror.
my bad.
Well, we just met you, but we love you instantly.
Yes.
So
Oh,
you're
thank
just
you.
kind of awesome. So yeah.
Yeah, this has
So-
been super fun.
I'm so glad Rachel like let you know. So
Yeah.
I know, me
Sorry, Rachel.
too. I just like talking to people that actually have like a real interest in like learning. Because, no offense, but a lot of Americans, like on the surface, it's like, oh, you're from Germany. That's so great. My great grandmother. Everybody has somebody that's from Germany.
Did
And
you
then-
know her?
I don't, but
Yeah, exactly. Do you know her?
I don't, but that's cool.
Yeah. No joke. I was at a wedding once and I had this lady come up to me and she's like, oh, my friend got an organ donated from somebody in Germany. Do you know them? Fuck. No, I don't know your random person's organ donor just
Yeah.
because.
I didn't actually know organs went international. So, I'd love to be on that FedEx flight. That's kind of
That
cool.
would be something.
Oh my God.
know.
Yeah.
But that actually happened to a friend of mine that she was what was it? Somebody came up to her and was talking about that she knew somebody in St. Louis, Missouri, and she mentioned the person's name and says, do you know her? And St. Louis is actually a pretty big city,
Yeah.
and she actually did know her.
Oh, that's
So
funny. That's
She's like, yes, I
awesome.
do
Yeah.
know her.
That's
I know.
Crazy.
That's great. Yeah, that's really crazy. But yeah.
I actually had a few years ago. I used to spend a lot of time on BuzzFeed. And I was
love
reading
that.
a lot. Yeah. I'm sorry. I like to take tests where I find out what cake I would be if I was
That
a
is the
cake.
best thing. That is
Yeah.
the best thing. BuzzFeed quizzes. Mm-hmm.
So, and I commented on some article and this lady reached out to me. She's like, what you were saying, it sounds so familiar. Are you from this in this town? And I was like, yes. And she's like, do you know this and this person? I said, yes, I do. We actually went to high school together. And she's like, well, I'm married to him.
Oh,
And I was like, oh my gosh, like it was the most randomest thing from like some
That's so
BuzzFeed
funny.
article that she just happened to read the comment and then reached out to me. It's crazy.
That's
that's
pretty
trippy.
that is pretty crazy.
Yes. So after that, obviously, I had to change my name and I stopped commenting on BuzzFeed articles because I don't want some random.
They know you.
I didn't-
I mean, but you could just drop already been there and done that. Hubba hubba.
He was amazing.
There's a reason why it didn't go past high school, honey.
Oh, that would be so bad.
I remember that for next time.
Yeah, I love BuzzFeed. My favorite though is the supernatural guys or whatever their names are. What are
Oh
their
yeah,
names?
BuzzFeed
Ryan and,
Unsolved. Yeah.
Unsolved.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that any good?
Oh my
Mhm.
God, it's great. It's
Ah.
funny. It's very
It's
funny.
funny. Mhm.
It's cute. It's very cute. I really love it. So
I used to like the Try Guys
Oh, I
yeah.
love the
Yeah.
Try Guys. Yeah.
that's a
when
lot
they
of
wore
fun.
like leggings for a day and all kinds of other crazy stuff. And I was just like, this is amazing. I guess they did one episode where they had to like endure contractions.
Mhm.
Like
Oh,
what it would
we
be like
saw
to-
that one, and they had that
Uh-huh.
machine on them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
and they lost it.
Yeah. They lasted for like 10 seconds. And they're
Yeah.
like, take it off me.
I saw a similar experiment. I can't remember if it was them or if it was elsewhere, where it was simulating cramps.
Oh,
And so they were supposed to keep them
I
on
think I did
for
see
like
that.
days, and I don't know that they lasted an hour.
So Jake, if you ever want to experience it,
No.
we can pick you up.
No.
Have you experienced
just imagine somebody kicking you in the balls for like 24 hours straight.
Mm.
Mhm.
Mm.
Mm.
Maybe
You
he
take
does
some
want to try
Advil
it
for
now.
that.
No.
Maybe I'll take the Motrin for that.
I take whiskey for that.
Oh, that actually sounds really good. Actually. Mm.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I know we're veering off of Krampus a little bit,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Just a
Is
little.
there anything else that I don't know that you want to talk about Christmas and Saint Nicholas and Krampus? See if we've almost covered everything.
Yeah. I can't really
Well, I
think
actually
of
have
anything
learned
else.
so much. I didn't
Mhm.
realize, about the shoes or that
Yeah.
tradition, or
Mm-hmm.
the beating the children with the sticks that they get left by Krampus. I just thought it was kind of weird that they just got a stick. I was
Stick.
like
No, yeah, it's
like a
meant
piece
for
of
the
coal. Yeah.
it's meant for the parents. It's kind of like a warning, like if you don't get your shit together, next time you'll be in my backpack on the way to hell. So, yeah, I can't think of anything else either. I think you guys covered it all. You actually taught me some stuff that I didn't know. And then living in, Bavaria for a couple of years, like they have different traditions that I've never heard of. So it's always interesting. You think like your country's customs and culture until you actually travel it and you live in different parts of it and you realize that they all have different ideas. Like my kids in class one year, they learned about different Christmas traditions in different countries. And they talked about that some kids write letters with sugar and leave it on the windowsill for Santa Claus. And apparently that was a German tradition. I have never heard of it in my life.
Huh.
And I posted it on Facebook and I was like, do any of my German friends, because I have, friends all over the country, has anybody ever heard of this? And they said, no, never. Till this day, I have no idea where the school found that information. I've heard of, obviously you write a list to Santa, your Christmas wish list, but I've never heard of sugar letters ever until this day.
Very weird.
I was like, okay, well. Oh, and also one year I volunteered in my kids' class and I went in the class and talked about Nikolaus and Krampus. And my kid was in kindergarten, he was 5. So you can kind of imagine how that went when the kids went home and told their parents this crazy lady came to class today and told us about this demon monster.
Great.
So I did find a mention of
Really?
sugar letters. Yes, for Germany. It also happens in parts of Britain, the United States, and Russia. And what it says for Germany is children leave letters on their windowsills for Christkind, a winged figure dressed in white robes and a golden crown who distributes gifts. Sometimes the letters are decorated with glue and sprinkled with sugar to make them sparkle.
Yeah. So Christkind is a completely different figure. That's more, I believe, Catholics.
Okay.
Believe in Christkind, and it's an angel type figure,
Mm-hmm.
and it's their Santa Claus basically. And it has like long golden hair. I think it's supposed to be female, but I think it's kind of genderless. And it has like a white cloak and it leaves gifts. And again, that's more like I believe that's something that they celebrate or believe in, or that's like more like a Catholic tradition, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
Where I come from, we just have good old Weihnachtsmann that brings presents. But again, you have all these different, so a lot of times Christkind, St. Nicholas, Weihnachtsmann, they're all interchangeable, even though they're not the same person.
Okay. I like the efficiency of the British version where you write your letter and then you throw it into the fireplace and that's what as it burns and goes up the chimney, that's what sends it to the North Pole.
Hmm.
Here, the post office just does it for us.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my.
Interesting. Well, I've never met anybody in Germany that has actually done this. So maybe it's like an old
Yeah, it could
thing
be.
that just didn't carry over. I don't know.
Yeah. I just remember it's like tearing out pages of the Sears catalog when I was little and stuffing in them in an envelope to give to Santa. Here, this is what I want. Yeah, the Sears catalog was like a Christmas list for me. You know, you a lot of people's like they get it and they're like, okay, you know, go through and see what you want.
Yeah, in the 90s, my Christmas catalog was the Abercrombie and Fitch one.
What?
Oh, God.
Oh my!
I have one of those and one of those.
That was just the models.
Those are sugar cookies.
Oh my gosh, so wrong.
We're horrible.
No, we,
No.
you know, this is how we roll. Oh my gosh. So I was just thinking, it's like, what do we have planned for the next week?
For December.
Yes.
I know we have something planned.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Be
Or
awkward
something.
if you just sat here staring at each other for.
Yeah, sometimes we do, you know.
Oh, we'll be like, we're doing telepathic communication. We're gonna, intertrans communication it through a spirit box.
Yes,
Come
yes.
through.
We'll try that. But Miss Wendy, what do we have planned for next week? Because we've got a good show for next week too.
Yeah, but we will. I have thoughts.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we had. Oh, that was for the 16th.
Thoughts. No. Next week is I'm thinking of I want to get the where did it go? Anyway, getting the one witch lady with the book. The
Oh yeah.
yeah, the
Mhm.
wheel
Yeah.
of
Oh, yeah,
wheel
that
of the
one.
witch or
The
witch
one.
wheel of the year. Yeah.
Mhm.
And maybe cover Yule more.
Ooh.
Yes. So there's that.
I can tell the story of David's family celebrating Christmas with cockatios.
Oh.
Mm.
Which, if you didn't mean that, means the little shit log. There's a whole lot of story behind it. It's
Yeah.
unique to
I have
Barcelona. They're
heard that.
Spanish.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That was another surprise. I
Yeah.
had not heard.
We're
of
back
it.
with the poop again.
Here we are, but it's
Comes back. It's the circle of life.
delicious.
It's
So
delicious.
delicious.
The
And you
chocolate.
feed
It's
that
a cycle.
cock-a-log. Yeah, it's
Mm.
definitely a cycle, and Mr. Howdy will visit if you have a nice high fiber diet.
Mr. Howdy.
From
From
Mr.
South
Hanky.
Park.
Mr.
From
Hanky.
Mr.
It's
From
Mr.
South Park.
Hanky. Yeah.
Mr.
Mr.
Hanky.
Hanky, the Christmas spooky. I love you. My
But,
family, my dad's side of the family, we used to, my grandmother made an angel food cake and she'd put candles in it and we would sing happy birthday to baby Jesus on Christmas Eve.
That
Ah.
was normal.
I thought that's what families did.
Oh, yeah,
I just do shots.
Yeah. For Mardi Gras, I would tear through the king cake till I found that baby Jesus, and then I'd snap his neck right off. Just, I'm hosting next
Hey.
year.
But I have to tell you, Kim, or even Jake, they reminded me. So, like I said, Scandinavian influence in
Mhm.
Denmark for Christmas Eve, they serve rice pudding.
Oh,
And
yeah.
in that rice pudding, they put like an almond.
Mhm.
And if you're the one who finds the almond,
Yeah.
you are basically the shit.
Yeah. So, as you can tell, because I'm 6 feet tall and blonde, I'm actually half Norwegian. My
Oh, I
grandma.
can totally
Yeah.
admit that.
Jag snackar lite grann norsk, ja.
Oh.
Yeah, so we would have, I think it was I can't remember, it was shit, something like that. It's similar to the Danish word for the rice pudding,
Risengrød.
but it,
In Danish, it's risengrød.
yeah, it's something. Oh, well, Norwegian, the KJ in it is pronounced sh.
Oh,
So it's the
Okay.
same thing. It's the same thing. Yeah.
yeah, that's really cool.
Yes, and
Yeah,
we have
just again.
we
yeah.
have smålahove, which is the boiled sheep's head.
Smålahuvud.
It's delicious. Let me tell you.
Oh God, that sounds
Good
awful.
traditional Western Norwegian
No, thank
Christmas
you.
meal. Yeah, forget about it.
I'd rather eat
Brûlée.
Tim's angel food cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
Ju-
it was good cake, like
I mean, hey, yeah, that's cake, but
whipped
it's just
cream.
like, yeah, we like Scandinavian breakfast and dessert. We can skip dinner.
Wait, you had a sheep's head for breakfast?
No, for Christmas dinner and stuff,
Oh.
you would have the boil, but like breakfasts are usually good and desserts are usually good,
Oh, yeah.
and the rest is kind of a disaster.
Do you guys do æbleskiver? They're like
Um,
the round, like kind of like the round pancakes.
oh
Sometimes
yeah,
they have jam in the middle.
Mhm.
Oh, those
Yeah.
are the best.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
We've had
that
that.
sounds good.
Yeah.
I want pancakes.
Yeah, doesn't that sound good? Oh man. Well, we're almost to a close.
What?
We
Already?
are. I
Krampus hasn't even come to visit us. Let's look in the mirror and chant Krampus 5 times.
know.
Yeah, you go ahead and
Like
do it and
Tony
see what
Todd?
happens.
Krampus.
That'll probably be a new
Krampus.
tradition, a new
Krampus.
movie.
I'd watch that
Wait.
movie.
That would be kind of fun, actually. We should make that movie.
He needs to be voiced by Tony Todd. I'm saying.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, I could
Totally.
hear that. Yes.
I am Krampus. I can't
Do
do a Tony Todd
any of
voice.
you do any of you guys watch The Simpsons?
Yeah.
So
I don't
you know
watch
they
them.
have that dog. He's
Santa's
called
little
Sam.
helper.
In German, in this German version of The Simpsons, he's called Knecht Ruprecht.
Aw.
So which is what I was growing up was Krampus's name.
Mhm.
So I don't know why that's like the complete opposite.
How
Right?
bizarre.
Yeah, that is that's
Santa's
funny.
little Satan. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, basically.
Hmm. Huh.
That's interesting.
I just thought I threw that out there just as a closing statement.
I think that's good.
So they called him Kleiner Satan. I did a quick Google translate.
Oh,
I mean,
little
Bing
Satan.
Translate. Yeah.
Oh, Bing. Ooh.
Bing. I work for
Fancy.
Bing. That's my
Bing,
day
yes.
job.
Oh.
So yeah. So that's why I have to. Everyone use
Throw it
Bing,
out
please.
there.
Thank you very much. Please, I need you to use Bing. Thank you.
I will
Thank
use
you. Thank you
Bing.
very much. Thank you.
So does anyone have any closing words before we, I guess, leave live? But who knows if anybody's going to see
Yeah.
this part, but who knows?
Yeah. Because we were extra cramp. Who
Oh,
just goes
God.
after Krampus and junk?
I know.
Come on. Come on.
Hail
Well,
Krampus.
all I can say is that to some people, finding eine Route might be, something bad, but to some people who are into that kind of stuff, it might actually be a gift. So
That's true.
you do you.
Mhm.
You do you. Safe words are important. Safe
Yes.
safe
Use
Consent.
Krampus. Krampus can be your safe word.
Yes.
You were hopefully not yelling that out. Just
Yes.
In the
That
midst.
might be interesting.
oh, Krampus. Yeah, you gotta get that book out again, Jake.
I
Take us
know.
home.
I know. Just wait. Let me see what my safe word could be. One moment, please.
Oh God.
Ghoul on a stool.
Stool.
Mr. Hanky.
Okay, one sec. Ugh, they would put special characters in this. So my safe word for the Rooten is Schlag mich mit Stucken.
That sounds filthy.
It is.
Oh, now we really are blocked. in.
I hope I pronounced it. I don't
It
know.
was
I don't know
pretty
German at all. Schlag
Schlag mich,
mich. Is it mich or mich?
mich.
Mich.
Schlag mich.
mit Stucken.
Schlag mich mit dem Stocken.
Stucken. Yes.
Sounds. What does that mean?
Schlag mich mit
It just
Stucken.
means
I
hit
think that
me.
you've been screwed. Yeah.
It means hit me with the stick.
Oh, so I
But
was
we are
right.
talking about the Ruta, right? It's like I hope it's
Mhm.
Birch's favorite flavor of steak. Birch. I love you,
Filthy.
Birch.
Filthy.
Oh my God.
Oh, and I learned another really good one. Lauser.
What? Say that again.
Lauser. Lauser. It's supposed to
Oh.
be a little devil.
Yes. Lauserbanger, which means like you're a bad boy.
He gets that a lot. You're
Perfect.
such a bad boy.
Oh,
I get you're so naughty. Naughty.
Ghost Daddy.
Yes, there we go.
How do you say Ghost Daddy in German?
Doesn't sound good in German.
I'm sure there's a Geist
Ghost Daddy
in it,
is
though.
better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
Geist.
sure there's Geist
It's like
in it.
Geist Papa. Not that sexy.
Yes, Papa.
I am down. Geist
Or if you want to
Papa.
be proper, you can be like Geist Vater.
Mhm.
Suppose it
It
depends.
almost sounds like a Geist farter. The ghost farter.
Jake is getting all excited. He's gonna get that catalog out again.
Well, yes.
Ooh.
Talk to me.
kids.
Talk to me,
I'm
Ghost
gonna
Daddy.
shut the live part of this.
Okay, let's go with that, everyone.
And-
Toodles.
Bye, everybody.
Happy
Bye.
Krampusnacht.
Yes.